Us recording now live. Okay, sweet. So just as a quick intro, I'll introduce myself, and then if you can just share a little bit about yourself and about, and then I'll ask you the first question, and then we'll start rocking and rolling. I'm excited. Okay, so hi everyone. It's a pleasure to speak with you today, and I'm really excited about our guest for this interview. I met this fabulous woman, Andrea Lo, when I heard about her incredible project called Piggybackr. And Andrea, would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the project that you started?
Sure. So my name's Andrea, and I started Piggybackr, which is a company that is focused on bringing youth fundraising online and empowering youth. I started this about a year ago, and we're based out in San Francisco. In my free time, I love ice cream.
Nice.
I love speaking and writing about fundraising, youth entrepreneurship, and youth empowerment. So, yeah. And thank you for having me today.
Certainly, certainly exciting. Now, you had an interesting story about how you actually started this project. What gave you the idea to start this project? Why online fundraising, and why specifically for young people?
Yes, so that's a great question. I think a lot of times people ask me that because they want to know kind of how they take their first step to get into entrepreneurship. But I was previously working in consulting. I did my undergrad in business school,
Mm-hmm.
And felt like I wanted to do more. And stumbled upon entrepreneurship and startup as a way to really make a difference, build something, and be really creative. And luckily, I was born in the Silicon Valley, so that made it a little bit easier.
Nice.
I decided after meeting a ton of people and getting more into startups that I was going to make it my goal to start my own company in the next 5 to 10 years. And so strategically, I decided to learn as much as I could,
Mm-hmm.
and took those steps to get there. To me, though, one of the most important things was starting a company that was meaningful and impactful and something that I was very passionate about.
Sure.
And the whole process started much earlier than 5 to 10 years, when I was inspired by my 11-year-old sister. And I think it mirrored my own life. I think a lot of millennials, I guess people in their 20s, and much younger, and I'm sure much older as well, come to this point where they don't know what to do. They care about a lot of things, but they don't know how to take that first step. And I felt that in my own life, and I saw that in my sister's life at that point. Whereas she was an 11-year-old, and she was very passionate about the environment, but would just complain all day and didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So I challenged her to do something, and she came back to me with a full-on plan, and I was so proud of her because she's just 11. And so she decided that she was going to raise money for a nonprofit that
Nice.
saved the rainforest,
Mm-hmm.
and she was going to do that by selling bracelets for $1 that she made. And I was so proud of her, but I challenged her to think bigger and think, how might you use and leverage some of the tools you use every day and some of the other knowledge and skills you have. And so together we brought her fundraiser online, and I saw her really blossom through the process. From not knowing how to raise any money to at the end of the project raising over $300.
That's wonderful.
Just huge for her. But more importantly, it wasn't even about the money that she was going to be able to donate, but the fact that she was more empowered.
Right.
After this whole process. I could tell that she was more confident. I could tell that she was definitely going to be more proactive. And I knew that this was really the start of many more exciting things to come. And was so inspired by that story that I was like, is this something that I can bring to young people across the nation? Because I truly believe that, and based on my experiences, a lot of my friends' experiences, and a lot of successful people that I've seen throughout my life, it's not really about your IQ. It's not about where you went to school. It's not necessarily about how much money you have. But what dictates happiness and success a lot of times is, I guess in this case, more success, but is really about persevering, being
Definitely.
up after failure, and setting really big goals, and just trying over and over again. And I think entrepreneurship has really taught that for me, and it was really exciting for me to see fundraising as a vehicle to start getting my sister involved in kind of the process like that. And so a lot of testing and interviews with parents, teachers, and young people of all ages really centered around this kind of mission to empower young people.
Right.
And stumbled upon the fact that it's also business, because kids are fundraising all the time and using some of the most traditional methods that have not been innovated upon for the last years even.
Mm-hmm.
And so through a lot of testing, trial and error, came up with Piggybackr as it is today, where it's a platform that teaches kids, whether they are teens, tweens, or even college students, how to raise money and take action and be more effective in fundraising for their teams, their sports, their even personal causes. And it's been very, very interesting along a lot of fronts to see how the kids use technology, see how they interact, but more importantly, see how much they learn and that they're coming back and spearheading their own projects, and just getting more and more creative and taking action.
Definitely. So I had the chance actually with a workshop series that I did to use the platform, and I have to say I was blown away personally at how easy it was, how interactive it was, how it incorporated both the social media that students are very comfortable with, but then also gave them some really specific tools on, you just can't rely on posting this on Facebook. You've got to send out some specific emails. Here are some templates. What are some best practices you can offer for viewers who are young people, specifically our young women, and they want to do an online fundraising campaign? What's one or two best practices you can give them to think about in terms of setting up their own?
So I have three.
Nice.
So the first one is we really encourage young people to fundraise in teams, especially when you have a larger goal. It works that much better. And so having a team leader and team members is a really important dynamic, because the team keeps everyone together, keeps people motivated. That can be a student leader, a parent, or teacher in some cases when they're younger kids. And then the team members themselves are so important, because fundraising is a lot about relationships. And the more people you can pull in to be involved and to be accountable, the more you can spread your word and raise more money. And
Definitely.
so rather than having one page for the team, we really encourage every single team member to have a page, because now you are accountable for that piece, and you are proud to share your page and your story, and people can connect with you. So really encourage getting more people on board, and having a strong leader in place. The second thing I would say is fundraising is a lot about telling your story and connecting with others. I think a lot of people see kind of very successful cases that went viral on the news where people suddenly raised $1 million overnight. And
right.
For the most case, people raise money from their first or second degree circle. So like your friends and family, and maybe some people they know. And I think a lot of people don't realize that fundraising is really about relationships. It's not really about what you're selling. Sometimes it's not even about what the cause is. And we did research on this. It's not, people almost don't even care how the money is used.
Sure.
They're supporting you because you're working hard, and because you're telling a compelling story. Because fundraising is a very emotional piece of giving. People don't think like, well, I'm giving you this and I expect that. It's again, like, people like giving. It's emotional. So the second tip I really have is like, tell your story, have it come from your heart, and realize why people are giving to you. Don't think that don't confuse it with some of the other things, although those can be great perks.
Sure.
And then the third piece really is fundraising is hard. There's professionals that work on this full time, and there's classes and there's certifications. So one thing I think a lot of young people come in thinking like, yeah, I'm just going to paste on Facebook and money's just going to roll in the door. No.
Right.
There's effort. It requires putting yourself out there a little bit, asking for help, being comfortable with it, and keeping motivated and trying again. Maybe you send emails or call or use social media to reach 50 people and no one responds. Do it again because
Mm-hmm.
people are busy. So,
Mm-hmm.
one huge piece that we've really centered our whole platform around is, hey, effort matters. Taking more action directly correlates with more potential to raise money. So don't get discouraged.
Mm. That's huge. That's huge. Those are three incredible takeaways. I think whether you were doing online fundraising or for that matter, if you have your own business, I think they
Yeah,
apply in both worlds from,
yeah,
having a team and, having leaders,
yeah.
recognizing that it isn't emotional. It's building a connection with people. It's relationships and about the circles that you build. And then without hesitation, it's going to be some hard work involved. So I think those are
Yeah.
really, really critical.
Yeah, no, that's a great parallel that you bring. And I think one of the underlying things that I always like to say is when you look at fundraising, it's oftentimes the first instance a lot of youth have with money in business. And
Definitely.
to me, it's almost like
Hmm.
the step you take before you start thinking about business or earning money is raising money a lot of times. So,
Without hesitation. That's wonderful. Well, Andrea, you are a true inspiration as both an entrepreneur and then taking on a business model that really can make a huge impact on this planet. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I'd love to be able to reach out to you maybe a year or two from now and see how things are going and see what new developments have happened and all the great success stories that have happened. But in the interim, how can viewers get in contact with you? What's the best way to find out about the platform, and what can they do to follow your story as it progresses?
yeah, so we're always looking to help youth and their communities to raise more money. We'd love if you spread the word,
Yes,
but you
definitely.
can find us if you visit our website. It's www.piggybackr.com. There's no E in there, so piggyback with the
Hmm.
R. And you can sign up to learn more information through our site. You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter with the same spelling. And sometimes I write articles and whatnot, and you'll see them all linked together. So
Wonderful. Well, I definitely hope that our viewers will take advantage of that. I know I will be promoting the site everywhere that I can because it's a really amazing platform. And it's interesting. Just as a quick anecdote, the students that I were working with figured out immediately when we showed them how this would really take their fundraising into the 2.0 world, because a lot of them, they were college students. A lot of them had done just the traditional selling candy at school or selling raffles or things like that, and they recognized immediately how this would allow them to leverage a much bigger network. So I'm excited to see what will happen with the numbers, because that's, of course, that's the hard part.
that's definitely exciting. Yeah, we started out wanting to do this for a younger population, but yeah, like you said, even college students are coming to us, even adults sometimes. So
I'm
no one
sure.
knows how to fundraise.
I'm sure. Well, good luck with everything, and definitely feel free to keep me in the loop on how things are going.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. You have a really great evening, and thanks again for the interview.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye. Okay.